And here I thought Eren wasn't being literal when he said he's going to end the world. Turns out, he is. Wow. Is it possible for a person to take a different path than what was given to them? Is it possible to avoid what could be inevitable? Is it possible if a person says something that could have avoided the path that will bring annihilation? These are the questions that popped up in my head after reading the chapter. One moment it could be the decisive factor to the overall story. What's done is done, and this is the end game. The last chapter had me floored with the rumbling. Eren has unleashed hell, or deeper hell on Earth, that might as well end with everyone dead. It's complete madness. I don't know how this will all end. Instead of the chapter open up with carnage, it begins with a flashback. While I'm not upset due to my anticipation for the rumbling, I'm upset due to revisiting the forgiving sensation of peace and happiness. It doesn't help that Sasha was there, so I can't help but feel moved by this atmosphere. It's welcoming, but there's a great reason for this flashback. It was the time for Survey Corps to visit Marley for the first time. I still can't fathom that Isayama killed off Sasha, for she still provided humorous moments, including how she blatantly exposed themselves as people from the inside of walls. I really like the reactions from many characters toward the technological advancement compared to their homeland. The car part had me laughing a lot. They honestly thought it's a species. It's even funnier with Levi too thought the same and warned them that it will hurt them. This is a nice change of pace. The amusement continues with the introduction of ice cream. They made everything new seem like a big deal. I like Isayama poking fun on Levi with his stature. The clown thought he was a child, which annoyed him deep inside. Hell, it got intensified somehow with the cold stare. It's only when Levi turned around that everything went back to normal. I do like Isayama's humor. It's the soothing atmosphere that fans needed the most. Even Mikasa eating ice cream felt comforting. I promise, it's normal as it sounds. Like their beach scene. In the midst of relaxation, Eren was the only one who appeared lost and possibly broken. If you recall, his goal was to go beyond the wall and see the world with his friends, Army and Mikasa. Here he was, nothing to glee or feel alive. It's a downer. He can't help but look torn in front of his friends, yet they don't notice his turmoil, or rather, don't want to notice. It's a conflicting feeling to deal with. A friend has a problem. How can one approach to them? The sad part is, the trip didn't astonish him since he has seen the memory of his father. The memories and likely the future have ruined his anticipation and expectation. It doesn't help that the notion of Eldian and the mistreatment corrupted his view, even when the outside world is vast. There's a nice page shot of the market with everyone on a casual time with Eren appearing separated from the rest aside of Mikasa, who was trying to comfort him. I feel bad for the two, but it gets more intimate later on. The atmosphere changes quickly once Levi apprehended a boy who was pickpocketing. That small moment led to a dark movement. All the citizens instantly turned cruel, like they have flipped the switch from polite to crazy. Mind you, he's just a boy, yet the citizens wanted to throw him overboard or smash his hand just to make an example to trespassers. Needless to say, it's ludicrous. It fortunately leads to an uplifting outcome with Levi saving the boy from crazies. Not to say he never helps, but it's neat to see him helping without the need of killing. I chuckle at Hanji and Sasha playing the family to protect the kid. The kid may have kept the wallet or bag, but it's all good spirit from all ends. All except Eren, who look, once again, lost. It plays a part later, however. They met with Kiyori to discuss the planning for peace treaty. As we know now, that path is definitely no longer an option. However, this established a difficulty that might as well deem as impossible. It's the unfortunate situation that resonates with reality with his own world problem. In this case, Paradis Island only wanted to be accepted, but after over a century, not counting on his origin, how can that happen in a day? It hurts to read their interactions because everything they wanted to avoid came true, including Zeke's strategy. They didn't want any part of it. As the recent saying goes, reality is often disappointing. Eren wasn't there, which hinted the lack of connection. Yes, he went elsewhere to watch the boy and the family, but the way how he was illustrated to be distanced from his friends is quite telling. Mikasa found him with a tear flow. It is eerie how he noted nothing has happened to the family yet. Keyword yet. Ever since the past chapters, his words have grown cryptic and disturbing. He saw the family as similar as them, lost their home and freedom. Now, I want to give you a heads up on the next part. Pardon me for going into a brief analysis mode. Perhaps next time, I will do a separate video for analysis only. This is going to focus on the next scene. We may jump back and forth here and there, but it's for the sake to connect the pieces. Let's begin. Aside from the final scene, the one moment that grabs my attention significantly is Eren's possibly deciding factor to his path with a question to Mikasa. This honestly threw me off as I wasn't expecting an intimate moment. Well, it's arguable, but it's unusual mainly from Eren. He wanted to know why Mikasa is so attached to him. Why would she forever be on his side? What is he to her? That completely flustered her like a flirty schoolgirl in anime. My eyes opened up like a shipping fan. Sadly, she replied with family. Ouch. Let's start off with Mikasa first. It's believable for her to be in a confused state. She was easily caught off guard from Eren's question. I felt the same way. It wasn't like him to ask this type of question. Her pause clearly indicates that she has no clue how to respond with certainty. It wasn't like she knew right away. From the look of it, it appears Isayama has planted the seed to conclude her personal feelings. One would believe her reply was good enough. However, in the later scene, she questioned herself if the endgame path would have been different if she responded differently, with the panel of the very scene, no less. Basically, Isayama has written the scene as a wrong choice. I know the following scene has Eren feeling fine during the party, but it doesn't dismiss the other possibility that could have been more appropriate for him. There's multiple paths for a person to take, and one may be the best outcome out of the rest. The question is Mikasa in love with Eren? I am aware this series isn't aiming for romance, though there have been romantic touch lately such as Gabi and Falco for instance. However, it doesn't mean Isayama can't ever introduce this element. Throughout the series, there has been hints or indirect moments that connect to Mikasa's feelings that suggest more than sibling love. That includes the comical jealous scene. This chapter made it clearer that her attachment is above family love with her blushing and hesitation. Also, if that answer wasn't good enough, then the next level is romantic love. I don't see how lowering her level will please Eren. Does it mean she knows she loves him? I don't know. Although her curiosity suggests she does, maybe she really doesn't know. At least at that time. You can see her either shying away to answer him with her true feelings or struggle not realizing what she truly feels and go with the one he already knows. Does it matter now since the path has taken off? Possibly. The series isn't over, so whatever Isayama has in mind with this notion is likely to be a significant factor. Now, this is tricky as we tackle on Eren's side. To understand his reason is a puzzle itself. We must keep in mind that we never got to understand his inner thoughts and emotions. We have relied on other characters, or in this case Mikasa, to grasp an idea of his being. We will learn his motive and goal by the end, but we can't exactly exploit his psychological state. Not to mention how his mind operates as Attack Titan. It's important to know his side of the story. We can only theorize until he finally speaks. With that said, let's think about this. Why Eren asked her that question? There's two possible reasons. One, in which is to test his fate or future reading. Had she said a different answer, perhaps he would feel a little better to know fate isn't predetermined. As of late, it has been told that fate appears to be made and nothing Eren can do will change that. However, Zeke tested that, and although the outcome may be the same, his statement has some weight left. Maybe the destination point is set, but not the journey? That's only if Eren and his foreseen future is confirmed set in stone. The other reason is, perhaps he loves her. Why ask that question that can be presented as romantic? What was he trying to gain there? As you notice by now, Eren was depressed. He needed a comfort or anything that would tell him life is good. I'm no doctor of psychology, but often in media, love is described as powerful. Have Mikasa confess her love? The path may have been different. Don't get me wrong, I can't say for a fact that Eren wouldn't go with the plan if she confessed. However, I do believe it would have some effect. What kind? We may never know. It's a what if question that has no concrete solution. My main proof is chapter 50. Remember when Eren submitted to defeat and Mikasa expressed her heartfelt feelings, thanking him for everything. Eren turned around after her words. Maybe Eren was praying for her to open up like last time, but instead, she blocked herself. It doesn't help when the old man and their friends arrive to break the atmosphere. You can argue that he was frustrated when he said perfect timing. It's worth remembering the scene back in chapter 121 where Eren was watching his young self wrapping his scarf around Mikasa. He was completely focused, didn't respond to Zeke's calling. Was that a hint? Come to think of it, it's rather awkward to look back at chapter 112. If Eren took her answer as rejection, then the scene where he told her he hated her since the beginning comes off as an odd revenge, like this is his way to get back at her. You broke my heart? Now I'll break yours. Of course, this is not true. Though interesting choice of words from Eren, it was the complete opposite of love. Izayama isn't shy from subtlety. You may be wondering, why would Eren want love, especially from Mikasa? For one thing, they are very close. More importantly, it's likely his personal needs have matured. He's grown up now. Eventually, adulthood kicks into their mental state. Maybe he saw her as a woman, not a sister. There are many series out there where love can change a person. One has the character converted because of it, saving him from suffering. Eren was suffering. Maybe we would have chapter 125 of that series happening here. Weird because we're almost at 125. Perfect timing. Joking aside, it's abundantly clear Izayama wants the fans to keep this moment in mind. I can't confirm if this is based on romantic love, but it can't possibly go to that route now that Mikasa's feeling is finally put into the test. Grisha found at peace with the second family with a better intention. Eren perhaps wanted the same, but judging by the end, it's too little too late. Back to the review. On the lighter note, after the tension between Eren and Mikasa broke, everyone joined the feast with homeless people. It's relaxing and heartwarming. There's no dialogue, but its visual expressed the tenderness that won't replicate again. Quite amusing to see how each character acts when they are drunk. I like how John and Connie brought in more drinks to continue the fun. Only Levi and Haji didn't join in. Must be the clown that stopped them. In all seriousness, it was great. The last panel with Eren, Mikasa, and Army sleeping left me feeling sad. This may be the last time The meeting with the nations destroyed the possibility of peace with Paradis Island as everyone declared them as devils. That was the final nail to the coffin. Eren disappeared, and the rest began in chapter 100. Let's say if Mikasa did confess, perhaps it would have stopped him from disappearing and instead stick together. It reminds me of another series, whereas every development counts to determine the character's fate. With no support, this is his fate. It's worth noting this was narrated by Mikasa, which I thought it is fitting. Her narration speaks for us fans on Eren's true character. We are still bewildered, but slowly we're learning more and more. It's most necessary to receive his side of the story, so we can only speculate. Based on how she ended, it left her with a regret. I can't say it will make a huge difference, but anything is better than nothing. It's back to the present, and God Almighty, she couldn't be any more right. The sight of a Titan army with one incredibly large one, most likely Eren, is bone-chilling. I think it's safe to say we are in for an Evangelion ending, or in recent years, Devilmon. Kinda ironic in a sense. I remember the audio of the ending played at the exhibit. Now it's making a lot of sense with this revelation. The large incomplete form Titan is dangerously frightening. It looks like it's forming a dinosaur body, but I think it will be like Rod Reed's Titan, only larger. The fact it's larger than the army is faint-worthy. I appreciate the realistic atmosphere of the rising behemoths. It's so damn loud, army has to shout to inform Mikasa on Eren's true attention. It would be silly if it was all muted, so nice work on the detail. Army finally enlightens her that Eren has always been on their side. He believes Eren only wanted to do the rumbling to crush the allied forces at Marley and protect Paradis Island. He is right on the crushing the enemy part. However, the scale is far more than he thought, and that's being generous. It occurs that Wall Maria is also going down, which is unnecessary according to Army. Sure, the more firepower, the better, but it's more than enough to crush one nation. I thought the rumbling was the most likely choice for Eren. While that remains true, the scale is what I got it wrong. By this point, I was shaking as if I was there. It becomes clear when Eren communicates to all subjects of Ymir through paths. I got chills from the pages alone. It's heart-wrenching with each passing page, with each line slowly builds up to Eren's goal. At least Pick is alive, so that's one bright spot. Anyway, it's probably the first since Time Skip that we hear his feelings. He had enough of everyone's wish to eliminate Paradis Island. In return, he will protect his people and kill everyone outside the island. By that, I mean mass genocide. Well, that went completely dark. I'm honestly stunned. Technically, Eren has become the final villain. God, the last pages were blistering cold level of chills. I felt the anger. To put it simple, the good news is Eren is back. The bad news is Eren is back. What a twisted world. This was a great chapter. It may not have progressed the story further, but the depth of his characters continued to impress. The flashback was an emotional roller coaster, from tenderness to depressing. I apologize for going on long with the analysis, but I know it's essential since Isayama highlighted it as a turning point in some regards. The present timeline was seriously bone-chilling. The presentation was great. The revelation left me awed. It's simple, but the depth is what sold me. I'm sure Army and Mikasa don't approve this, but the damage is done. If the world wants a villain like Eren, they got their wish. Now, fight or die. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. I really wish I separated the analysis from this review. That way it have its own separate part. I apologize if I went on long, but I do hope you enjoyed it. What do you think of this chapter? What do you expect of the next chapter? Do you support Eren and his goal? Share your thoughts in the comments section. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.